بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء كل شيء يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحت كل اسم اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النكم اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تقطع الرجاء اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك واستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاض متذلل خاشع متضرع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني باسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته اللهم أعظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لكبائه ساطرا ولا لشيء من أمري الكبير بالحسن مبدلا غيرك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من كبيه سترته وكم من فادهم من البلاء أقلته وكم من إسار وكيته وكم من مكروه دفعته وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرته. اللهم أعظم بلاي أفرط بسوء حالي وقصرت بي أمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وحبسني النفع بدو أمالي وخدتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بخيانتها. ومثالي يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك الله يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعلي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلوات من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهوتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور يطوفا. إلهي ومولاي وربي من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم احترس فيه من تزيين عدوي وغرني بما هو وسده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك وخالفت بعض أوامرك فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاءك والزمني حكمك وبلاؤك. وقد آتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذنيا معترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مخزن أتوجه عليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شدة وساكي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي هبني لابتداء كرمك وصالح برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاض لربوبيتك هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته أو تبعد من أدنيته أو تشرد من أبيته أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة وبشكرك مادها وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر هوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارها سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طايا، وشارت باستغفارك مذنيا. ما هكذا بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم. يا ربي وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، ألا أن ذلك بلاء مكروه قليل مكسو يسير بكاء كثير مدته، فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو البلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الهكير المسكين المستكين. يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو ولما من هازج وأبكي لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته، فلئن سيرتني في العقوبات على أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك، وهبني صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك. أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك عفوك عفوك. فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لن تركتني ناتك، لا أزجن عليك بين أهلها زجيج العاملين، ولا أصرخن عليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولو نادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين. يا غاية أعمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيتك، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يزج عليك زجيج معمل رحمتك، ويناديك باللسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل عليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك ورافتك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف تولمه النار وهو يعمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يهرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع الصوت وترى مكانا؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفا؟ أم كيف يتكلكل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقا؟ أم كيف تجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رب؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في يتقه منها فتتركه فيها هيهات؟ ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عملت بالموحدين من برك وإحسانك، فباليقين يقتل لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاهديك وقضيت به من إخلاد موانديك لجلت نارا كلها بردا والسلاما، وما كان لأحد فيها مكرا ولا مقاما، ولكنك قد تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد في المعاندين، وأن تجل صنعا قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنام متكرما. أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي هتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته، كل جرم أجرمته، كل جرم أجرمته، وكل ذنب أذنبته، وكل ذنب أذنبته، وكل ذنب أذنبته، وكل قبيح أسررته، وكل جهل عملته كتمته وأعلنته، أخفيته وأظهرته، وكل سيئة أمرت بأسباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جواره، وكنت أنت رقيب علي من ورائهم وشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته، وأن توفر هذي من كل خير أنزلت أو إحسان فضلت أو بر نشرت أو رزق بسطت أو ذنب تغفر أو خطأ تستر يا ستار. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك ركي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا عليما بذري ومسكنتي، يا عليما بفقري وفاقتي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، أسألك بحقك وقدسك وعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي، يا من عليه شكوت أهوالي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، قوي على خدمتك جواره واهدد على العزيمة جوانه، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى إسراها إليك في ميادين السابقين أسرع عليك في المبادرين واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فارده وكادني من كادني فكده واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخصهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك واعطف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك واعقلني أسرتي واغفر لي زلتي فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وزمنت لهم الإجابة فعليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي وعليك يا ربي مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني منايا ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا دعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء يا سابق النعم يا دافع النكم يا نور المستبشين في الظلم يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله ولا تفعل بما نحن أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا اللهم صل على محمد اللهم بحق محمد أنت المحمود اللهم بحق علي أنت الأعلى اللهم بحق فاطمة الزهراء أنت فاطر السماوات والأرض اللهم بحق الحسن أنت المحسن اللهم بحق الحسين أنت قديم الإحسان يا قاضي الحاجات اقضي حاجات المؤمنين والمؤمنات يا شافي الأمراض اشف مرضان المؤمنين والمؤمنات يا شافي الأمراض اشف مرضان المؤمنين والمؤمنات المخصوصين اللهم اشفيني اللهم ارزقنا رزقا حلالا واسعا طيبا اللهم زدنا بالخير والبركة اللهم ارحمنا إنك أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين اللهم انصرنا على القوم الكافرين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين تعجل بظهور حجتك الإمام صاحب الإسلام السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات خصوصا موجود جو سب ہیں مومنین سب کے sponsor of the tonight بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بر محمد والے محمد صلوات. جی آگا جی اجازت. ایک بار مل کے دوبارہ درود صلوات کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، کارواں چلا مدینے میں، چل پڑی ہے زیبا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، مورے احمد پہ بیٹھتا تھا حسین، مورے احمد پہ بیٹھتا تھا حسین، رو رہا ہے کھڑا مدینے میں، رو رہا ہے کھڑا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، سسکیاں قبر کی لے رہا تھا کھڑا، سسکیاں صبر کی لے رہا تھا کھڑا، سغرا زندہ ہے کیا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، جب لکھا نام آ لیا اس نے، جب لکھا نام آ لیا اس نے، مر گئی تھی وفا مدینے میں، مر گئی تھی وفا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، جس کی چوکھٹ پہ انبیاء تھے جھکتے، جھکتے جس کی چوکھٹ پہ انبیاء تھے جھکتے، اس کو مارا گیا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا مدینے میں، کارواں ہے چلا، یا حسین حسین بار محمد علیہ محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
خوشنود امام زمانہ بلند ترین صلوات۔ با وفا یا عباس، با وفا یا عباس، عباس 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 عباس، محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، عباس 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 عباس، اس نوری کارواں میں نوری اماریاں ہیں، نوری اماریوں میں نوری سواریاں ہیں، نوری سواریاں ہیں، سر پر علم کھلا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، عباس 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 عباس، نامحرموں کا مجمع ہٹ ہٹ کے ہے گزرتا، پہرے میں با وفا کے طے ہو رہا ہے رستہ، طے ہو رہا ہے رستہ، کیا شان و دبدبا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، عباس 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 عباس، عباس جیسا بھائی سالار کارواں ہے، بولے حسین مجھ کو پھر کوئی غم کہاں ہے، پھر کوئی غم کہاں ہے، ہر غم کی یہ دعا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ہر غم کی یہ دوا ہے عباس سے جو زندہ ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس سے جو زندہ ہے. عباس 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 عباس. زینب حیا کی ملکہ، کلثوم اور رقیہ، لیلا رباب فرما، لیلا رباب فروا، کبریٰ سکینہ فضا، کبریٰ سکینہ فضا. ہر بی بی باردہ ہے عباس سے جو زندہ ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس سے جو زندہ ہے. عباس 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 عباس. اصغر سے کھیلتی ہے، خوش ہے سکینہ بہت، جب چاہتی ہے سونا ہے بابا کا کسینہ. اصغر سے کھیلتی ہے، خوش ہے بہت سکینہ، جب چاہتی ہے سونا ہے بابا جاں کا سینہ، ہے بابا جاں کا سینہ. غم سے نہ آشنا ہے عباس سے جو زندہ ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس سے جو زندہ ہے. عباس 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 عباس. صلوات.
لاکھوں شہ مشرق کہنے والے، لاکھوں شہ مشرق کہنے والے، اسلام کا نور کہنے والے، قاتل کا ملے گا نام، لیوا نہ کوئی، قاتل کا ملے گا نام، لیوا نہ کوئی موجود ہے یا حسین کہنے والے لاکھوں شہ مشرقین درود پڑھ لیں گھر سے جب بہرے سفر سید عالم نکلے گھر سے جب بہرے سفر سید عالم نکلے سر جھکائے ہوئے بادیدہ پرنم نکلے خیش و فرزند پر بانگ کے باہم نکلے رو کے فرمایا کہ اس شہر سے اب ہم نکلے رو کے فرمایا کہ اس شہر سے اب ہم نکلے رات سے گریہ زہرا کی صدا آتی ہے دیکھ قسمت ہمیں کس دشت میں لے جاتی ہے روح کیا شہنے سوئے قبر شہنشاہ بہر تسلیم جھکے متصل باب سلام اذن پا کر جو گئے قبر کے نزدیک امام عرض کی آیا ہے آج آخری رخصت کو غلام عرض کی آیا ہے آج آخری رخصت کو غلام یہ مکان ہم سے اب اے شاہ زمن چھٹتا ہے آج حضرت کے نواسے سے وطن چھٹتا ہے چین سے سب ہیں گھروں میں مجھے ملتا نہیں چین سخت آفت میں ہے اب آپ کا یہ نور ٹکڑے دل ہوتا ہے جب رو کے حرم کرتے ہیں بین ننھے بچوں کو بھلا لے کے کدھر جائے حسین ننھے بچوں کو بھلا لے کے کدھر جائے شہر میں چین نہ جنگل میں اما ملتی ہے دیکھیے قبر مسافر کو کہاں ملتی ہے یہ وہ دن ہے کہ پرندے بھی نہیں چھوڑتے گھر مجھ کو درپیش ہے ان روزوں میں آفت کا سفر 7 بچوں کا ہے بادشاہ جن و بشر ہے کہیں قتل کا ساما کہیں لٹ جانے کا ڈر ہے کہیں قتل کا ساما کہیں لٹ جانے کا ڈر تنگ جینے سے ہوں پاس اپنے بلا لو نانا اپنی تربت میں نواسے کو چھپا لو نانا یہ بیان کر کے جو تعویذ سے لپٹے سرور یوں ہلی قبر کے تھرا ذریعے انور آئی تربت سے یہ آواز حبیب داور تیری غربت کے میں صدقے میرے مظلوم پہ سر تیری غربت کے میں صدقے میرے مظلوم پہ سر کوئی سمجھانا میری گود کا پالا تجھ کو آیا دان مدینے سے نکالا تجھ کو یہ بیان کر کے چلے وہاں سے شہ کون و مکان بے کسی چہرے پہ چھائی تھی تو آنسو تیرا رواں لوگ سر پیٹ کے اس دم ہوئے یہ گریہ اڑا پیچھے تابوت کے جس طرح سے ہو شور و فغاں پیچھے تابوت کے جس طرح سے ہو شور و فغاں گل تھا اے سید ذی جاہ خدا کو سونپا اے مدینے کے شہنشاہ خدا کو سونپا گھر سے جب بہر سفر سید عالم نکلے
Please recite Surah Fatiha for your marhumin and for the marhumin whose names are on the wall in the back. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمد للہ الذی لا یبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا یوسی نعمہ العدون ولا یؤدی حقہ المجتہدون الذی لا یدرکہ بہد الہمم ولا ینالہ غوث الفتن الذی لیس لصفتہ حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت محدود ولا اجل ممدود فترى الخلائق بقدرته ونشر رياح برحمته واعتدى بالسخر ميدان الأرض ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيبنا وحبيب رب العالمين بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعن على أدائهم أجمعين من أول يوم ظلمهم إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المبين وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله ولو آمن أهل الكتاب لكان خيرا لهم منهم المؤمنون وأكثرهم الفاسقون صدق الله العلي العظيم. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 28th of Rajab, and this is the day in which we commemorate the steps that Abu Abdullah Hussain al-Islam he took to change not just Islam, but to change humanity. If you look at the reason that Imam Hussain al-Islam left Medina, what was it that he said? When his brother Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, he comes to Abu Abdullah al-Hussain and he tells him oh my brother, don't go to Kufa. The Kufans, you know what they did to our father. You know what they did to our brother. These people, they're hypocrites. One time they're with you, they'll say they're with you, but then when the time comes for support, they'll leave you. Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that very famous phrase that I'm leaving to do Amr bil Ma'ruf, that phrase he writes in his will also. When he writes the letter to Muhammad Hanafiya, he writes that in that will. And what does he say? That whole paragraph, he says, I have not risen to spread evil or to show off, nor for spreading immorality or oppression. I'm not rising up. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam, when he left Medina, his end goal was not Mecca. When he was leaving Medina, he had already said to himself, and he was telling other people that he's rising up against Yazid. He's not just going to Mecca. In Medina, he's already made up his mind that he is going to rise up against Yazid. But what does he say? I'm not rising up to spread corruption. I'm not rising up to spread immorality. But I am leaving Medina. I have left for the betterment of the ummah of my grandfather, and I desire to propagate the religion and forbid against the evil. I'm leaving Medina. I'm rising up for Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. I'm following, or I want to follow the same footsteps of my grandfather Rasulullah and my father Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. So when Imam Hussain alayhi salam rose up, he himself, he says that I'm rising up for Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. If he's rising up for these two things, what does that tell you about the Islamic Ummah? It tells you that there weren't people that were doing Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. The fact that Abu Abdullah al-Hussain had to rise up tells us that there weren't people that were doing Amr bil Ma'ruf. If Amr bil Ma'ruf was being done, Imam Hussain would not have to rise up for it. If Nahy anil Munkar was being done, Imam Hussain would not have to rise up for it. What was this Amr bil Ma'ruf? What was this Nahy anil Munkar? He says at the end of that letter, he says that I want to follow the footsteps of my grandfather and my father Amir al-Mu'mineen. This Amr bil Ma'ruf, this Nahy anil Munkar, it has two meanings to it. This Amr bil Ma'ruf, the Zahiri meaning is the meaning that everyone knows. To enjoin goodness. Meaning what? Meaning tell people to pray. Tell people not to steal. Tell people to fast. Tell people for Hajj. Tell people to do all of these things that are considered to be good, regardless of whether you're a Muslim, you're not Muslim. Some things, if you're a Muslim, they're considered to be good. Other things, you don't even have to be Muslim. What do I mean? Do you have to be a Muslim to not steal? No. No. Not stealing is something that is taught in Christianity. Not stealing is something that is taught in Judaism. Not stealing is even taught by people that do not have any religion. Why? Because not stealing, this is something natural. This is something fitri, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told us that, hey, this isn't something that should be done. Correct? Killing. Do you need to be Muslim to tell people not to kill? Do you need to be Muslim to not kill? No. Is it only Muslims that know that killing is bad or killing is evil? No. Christians also. Jews also. Atheists also. Polytheists also. Some of these things are fitri, meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already put it in our nature, put it in our fitra that these things are evil. There are other things, no. Our mind does not know whether a certain thing is good or evil. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Some things we need to be taught. The same way there's some Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar that needed to be taught. What was the Amr bil Ma'ruf? The batini Amr bil Ma'ruf that the Holy Prophet did his whole life. What was the batini Nahy anil Munkar that the Holy Prophet did his whole life? Because when Imam Hussein's rising up, he's just saying, I'm rising up for Amr bil Maruf and Nahi al Munkar. That would mean that he's looking at the Zahiri aspect of Amr bil Maruf and Nahi al Munkar and the Batini aspect. So what was that Batini aspect of Amr bil Maruf? In Al-Burhan fi Tafsir al-Quran, Sayyid Hashim Bahrani says tafsir, he has narration from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa Muhammad. And he says Amr bil Maruf is the wilayat of our grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. In the Quran, there are instances when the phrase Amr bil Maruf comes, it's regarding our wilayat. It's regarding the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. And in the Quran, when there comes the phrase Nahi anil Munkar, stopping people from doing evil. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, alaykum salam, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says, this is telling people that the first, the second, the third were batil. This is what Nahi anil Munkar is. Stopping people from that belief system. Meaning what? The batini aspect of Amr bil Maruf and Nahi anil Munkar. Now I ask you, were people not praying when Imam Hussain rose up? They were praying. They were praying. To the point, in Amir al-Mu'minin's time, do you all know how much Muawiyah used to pray? Whether his prayer was accepted or not, that's something different. That's something different. But do you all know how much Muawiyah used to pray? Do you all know when Amir al-Mu'minin fought the battle of Nahrawan, the Khawarij, what kind of abidin they were? The narrations, they say that they used to have the mark of prostration, the mark of sajda on their forehead. That's what kind of abid they were. So it's not that in the time of Amir al-Mu'minin, in the time of Imam Hassan, in the time of Imam Hussain, prayer wasn't being done. No, people were praying. Is it that fasting wasn't being done? People were fasting. Is it that Hajj was not being done? No, Hajj was being done. Hatta Abu Abdullah al-Hussain, he goes to Makkah. What does he do there? Hajj, and then he changes his Hajj, correct? Hajj was being done. Was zakat not being given? All of this was being done. But what had happened? There were changes that crept into each and every single one of these spheres. For the prayers, people were praying with their hands closed. Correct? Even for salat, people had changed the way wuzu was to be done. Still today, some of the Muslims, when they do wuzu, some of them, they say that it's okay if you wipe, if you wipe your foot, even if you're wearing socks, even if you're wearing shoes. Even if you're wearing shoes, when you're doing wuzu, it's okay if you wipe on top of your shoe, your wuzu is done. It had changed this much. When it came to fasting, even in the time of the Holy Prophet, when the Holy Prophet told people to break your fast because you've exceeded the hadd al-tarakhus, there were people that didn't want to do it. When it came to giving zakat, it was changed on what zakat should be given on. So there had been changes that crept into Islam. Amir al-Mu'minin tried his best to change this and revert back to the time of the Holy Prophet. Imam Hassan alayhi salam, he wasn't given that opportunity. Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he rose up to change these and reverted back to the time of the Holy Prophet. But what was it that was completely changed and people did not even accept or did not even follow? What was it that the majority of Muslims had left and they weren't following, they weren't doing? It was that batini amr bil maruf of the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. The majority of Muslims, they were not following the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'minin. They were following who? The Khulafa. They were following who? Muawiyah. They were following who? Yazid. To the point where Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he says what? When Marwan, he calls him in to do bayat of Yazid, what does Imam Hussain say? That a person like me will never do bayat to a person like Yazid. A person like me will never do bayat to a person like Yazid. So this reverberates over time. If you consider yourself to be a Hussaini, then you will never pledge allegiance to someone that has what? The characteristics of Yazid. If you say that you have some of the characteristics of Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam, then you will never pledge allegiance to someone who has the characteristics of Yazid lanatullah alayhi. This was the main reason Imam Hussain stood up. This was the main reason. The wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And what's amazing is today people want to separate Salat and Imam Hussain. They want to separate Salat and Wilayat. They want to separate. Shias, these two things are not separate. These two things are like a chain. They go together. One without the other is going to be useless. Why do I say this? I know all of us have heard from the beginning, since we were children, oh, the Masumeen, they're going to give a shifa. They're going to give a shifa. On the Day of Judgment, they're going to give a shifa. That's absolutely true. On the Day of Judgment, shafa'at will be there. But for who? Do you all know? Do you all know? Amir al-Mu'mineen himself, he says that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, they both say that anyone, like I said, they've separated Salat and they've separated Wilaya. Both of these Imams, they say that our shafa'at is not for anyone that belittles Salat. Our shafa'at is not for anyone that thinks less of Salat. Our shafa'at. Yet now you have Shias. Oh, we don't need to pray. We have the wilayat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. He'll give a shafa'at. But he himself, he says that this shafa'at is not yours if you do not pray. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says, look, you need to worry about your barzakh. We'll take care of you in akhirah. You worry about your barzakh, we'll take care of you in akhirah. After we die and we're buried, where are we? Barzakh. We're in barzakh until the Day of Judgment. Yet, we've separated the two. No, both of these go together. Amir al-Mu'mineen himself, he says that without my wilayah, the prayers are useless. Without my wilayah, prayers are useless. Without prayers, the shafa'at of Amir al-Mu'mineen does not occur. So what does this tell you? This tells you that both of them, they go together. And we need to carry both of them with us. Prayer and the wilayat of the Ahl al-Bayt ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What did Imam Hussain alayhi salam want to achieve with his shahadat? What did Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam want to achieve by leaving Medina, by leaving Mecca? What he wanted to achieve was that he wanted a change to start within humanity. He wanted there to be a change within the Muslims that, hey, first and foremost, this leader that we have, is he truly the right person to lead the Islamic Ummah? Is he truly the right person to be the representative of the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is he truly the right leader? Did it happen? It started happening when? After the shahadat of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. It started happening right after the shahadat of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. What do I mean? Many people don't know this because we've all heard there was only 72 martyrs, 72 martyrs, 72 martyrs. Correct? After Imam Hussain alayhi salam was shaheed, from Yazid's camp. There were people that deflected from Yazid's camp. After the shahadat, after everything had happened, when they were running over the body of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein al-Islam, during that time, there came a point where people deflected from the camp of Yazid and they said, no, what we've done is absolutely wrong. That change had started. And then when you get to Mukhtar and his revolution, you see that change has taken a stronghold. That's what Imam Hussain al-Islam wanted, for them to rise up. He himself, he puts out, he says, look, I am more capable of being a leader than Yazid. I have more right to be a leader than Yazid. I have more right to be leader than Yazid. Why? Is it because he's just related to the Holy Prophet? No. One, to be a capable leader, what do you need? One, ilm. You need knowledge. Two, if you're going to lead a community, there might come a time when you need to go to war. There might come a time when you need to go to battle. So when that time comes, you need what? Strength. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What's needed for a leader? Yazid did not have those qualities. If you look at what Yazid used to do, Sunni books, he would spend most of his time playing with his monkey. He had a monkey, and there would be times when he would put that monkey, he'd strap that monkey on top of his donkey, and he'd have that donkey race. And the narrations, they state that there came a time when that monkey, he fell off a donkey. One time the donkey was racing, the monkey fell off, and the monkey died. When the monkey died, Yazid, he had people come and console him over the death of that monkey. Not just that, he had people come and read namaz al-janazah over that monkey. This Yazid. This was him. Who doesn't even know what Islam is. Even Sunni narrators, even Sunni historians, they say that this person was not even a Muslim because of some of the things that he was doing. They themselves, they say that he was raised by a Christian. The education that he got was by a Christian. The Quran, it says, do not make the Yahudi and the Nasara your awliya. Do not make the Yahudis, do not make the Nasara your leaders. And you have Yazid, who himself, he's a kafir. Who's a kafir, and the Islamic Ummah has made this kafir their leader. What does this tell you about the mentality? What does this tell you about Islam and the Muslims of that time? What does this tell you what we need to do? What do we need to do? What do I mean? Just because there's a turban on someone's head does not mean that you just quickly follow them. I'm saying turban, I'm looking at ulama. Why? Because Amir al-Mu'mineen says one of the three people that destroys a community is an alim. One of the three people that can destroy a community or build a community is an alim, a scholar. If that scholar only cares about his own base desires, is he going to care about the community? Is he going to build the community, or is he going to destroy the community? He's going to destroy the community. If your leader only cares about themselves, then they're only going to put themselves forward. They're only going to care about themselves. They come first, everyone else comes last. Islam is not like this. If you're leading a community, the community comes first, then the leader comes. This is why Amir al-Mu'mineen, he used to dress the way he used to dress. He used to live the way he used to live. What do I mean? Over 30 places, his shirt was sewn. 30 places. You look at all the khulafa, you look at the other khulafa, where were they living when they were khalifas? And you look at Amir al-Mu'mineen, where was he living when he was khalifa? When one of his own companions, he said, Ya Ali, when Amir al-Mu'mineen, he went and he yelled at him. He got angry at him. Why? Because he was wearing very coarse clothes and he had started going to the jungles, he had started leaving the city and just engaging in ibadat. Amir al-Mu'mineen comes to him and he says, I've heard that you do this. Is this true? He says, Ya Ali, yes, it is true. He goes, why do you do it? Why is it that you're wearing coarse clothes like this? Why is it that you're going outside of the city just to engage in ibadat? Why have you left your family? And why don't you look after them? What does this man say when Amir al-Mu'mineen says, why are you wearing coarse clothes? He says, Ya Ali, you yourself, you wear coarse clothes. Why are you living in such a small place when you have such a large family? Ya Ali, you yourself, you live in a small place. What does Amir al-Mu'mineen say? He says that I'm Amir al-Mu'mineen, I'm the leader of the community. I don't want the poorest person in my community to come and complain saying that I'm this poor and my leader is this rich. I don't want someone to come and complain like this. This is why you see that some of the narrations, they state that when Imam Zaman alayhi salam comes, when he comes, he's going to dress the same way Amir al-Mu'mineen dressed. Meaning what? Meaning he's going to wear those types of clothes. So the poorest in the community will not come and complain to Imam Zaman, Mawla, why are you dressed in such fancy, such good-looking clothes when I'm this poor in your community? When I'm this poor in your community. But do you all know if the poorest person in the community was to be a millionaire, then Imam Zaman alayhi salam would be dressing like a millionaire. If the poorest person in the community is living off of $10,000, then Imam Zaman alayhi salam is going to look at that and say, hey, this person is living off $10,000. Whatever he can afford with that amount of money, that's what we will do. So if we want the Imam of our time to wear the type of clothes that we like, to wear the type of clothes or to live in a type of place that we like for ourselves, what is it that we should do? When it comes to these worldly matters, engage in them. Try to get as much as you can in a halal way that is absolutely possible. Islam does not say that you can't be a billionaire. No. Islam says be a billionaire, but do it in a halal way. Do it in a halal way. You want to become a billionaire? Do it, but do it in a halal way. That's it. That's it. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. These majalis, these gatherings that we come to these gatherings, and a lot of times we say, without thinking, for example, we say, Gharib Abu Abdullah al-Hussain. Mawla was Gharib. Mawla was this. Mawla was that. What does Gharib mean? Who can tell me? Huh? Gharib, it has different meanings to it. One of the meanings is a stranger in a different land. That's true. Another meaning is? Correct. Which meaning, when we say Gharib, do we give to Imam Hussain alayhi salam? Gharib al-Watan, thank you so much. Meaning what? Meaning who was stranger in the land. Correct? Was Imam Hussain alayhi salam poor? No. Was Imam Hussain alayhi salam truly a stranger in the land of Karbala? No, but we use these phrases, correct? Why do we use these phrases for the Imams? For the Imams, they're not strangers to any land. Every single land is in front of their eyes. They're not strangers to any land. You look at the narrations, the Imams are going from one country to another country to another country to another country in the blink of an eye. But we use these phrases for the Imams. Some of these phrases we should think about before we start using them. Why? Because maybe they might apply to us, but they don't apply to the Imams. They don't apply to the Imams. These same Imams who were martyred by the sword or who were martyred by the poison, could Imam Hassan alayhi salam not have that poison not affect his body? Could Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam not have the poison affect his body? From Imam Zainul Abidin come all the way to Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam. All of these Imams were poisoned. Could they not have the poison not affect their body? Could they not prevent the poison from affecting their body? They could. They could. But they don't. What proved to Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, there was a doctor who came to Amir al-Mu'minin. And Amir al-Mu'minin, he was a European doctor. He comes to Amir al-Mu'minin, and Amir al-Mu'minin, he sees his bag, and he asks him, "Are you a Hakim? Are you a doctor?" He goes, "Yes, I'm a doctor." And Imam Ali salam, he goes, "What's in your bags?" And he starts taking out the medications that he had in his bags. When he takes out some of these medications, Amir al-Mu'minin, he looks at one, and he goes, "What is this?" And he goes, "Ya Ali, this is poison. If you drink a certain amount of this, you'll die." What does Imam Ali alayhi salam do? As soon as he says this, he goes, "As you're saying that if I was to drink this, I would die? And you're 100% certain that I would die?" He goes, "Ya Ali, yes, I'm 100% certain that you would die." What does Imam Ali alayhi salam do? He takes that and he drinks it. When he drinks it, the man, he's scared. Why? Because this is Amir al-Mu'minin, this is the Khalifa of the Muslims. And what's going to happen? These people, they're going to say, "Oh, this man, he killed the Khalifa of the Muslims." He was scared for his life. He goes, "Ya Ali, what did you do?" He goes, "What? What's wrong? Do you see any changes on my face?" He goes, "No. I thought you said that this was poison. Was this not poison?" He goes, "No, this was poison. Then why am I not dead?" He goes, "I don't know. I don't know." So that means that the Imams had control over not just poison. If the poison was supposed to kill the individual, then the Imams had control over death itself. The Imams, they had control over death. Meaning what? When Amir al-Mu'minin got struck, it wasn't the strike. It was Amir al-Mu'minin finally saying, "I'm done." When Imam Hassan alayhi salam, when that poison affected Imam Hassan alayhi salam, it was Imam Hassan alayhi salam saying, "I'm done." When Abu Abdullah al-Hussain alayhi salam was martyred in Karbala, it was Imam Hussain saying that, "I'm done." all the way you come to Imam Hassan Askari Islam. That's it. We've done what we needed to do. They have control over life and death. Nothing has control over them. Yet when we speak about them as if they're like you and I. We speak about them as if like they're you and I. They're nothing like us. Imam Riza alayhi salam, he's sitting, he's eating, and there's a magician that's come. That magician, as soon as Imam Riza alayhi salam, he picks up his luqma, the magician, he does a ishara towards the luqma and it falls down. Does it one time, Imam Riza doesn't say anything. Does it twice. When he does it a third time, that's when Imam Riza alayhi salam, he sees that there's a portrait on the wall of a lion. He points to that lion, he tells that lion to come out of that carpet and eat this magician. The lion, it comes out, it eats the magician. When it comes out, eats the magician, Imam Riza alayhi salam, he tells it to go back. When it goes back, Mamun, he's seeing all this, he has fainted. When he comes back, he says, Yabna Rasulullah, can you tell this lion to give back the magician? Imam Riza alayhi salam says, no, I can't. I can't. He goes, why not? He says, if the staff of Moses was able to give back those serpents that it swallowed, then this lion would be able to give back this person that it swallowed. Do you see the difference between miracles and magic? That's what he was trying to show Banu Abbas. That's what he was trying to show Mamun. This is the difference between a miracle and magic. Magic only affects the eyes, that's it. But a miracle, once it's done, it's done. The only person that can undo it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that individual that has that power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, that's it. These are these Ahlul Bayt. This is Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. This is Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain alayhi salam, if you look at the narrations, they say that whenever arrows would be shot, they would miss. They would miss. There came a point in time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a voice comes from the skies, and that's when that voice says, Ya Hussein, that's it. The Holy Prophet is waiting. Your father is waiting. Your mother is waiting. Your brother is waiting. When this voice comes, that's when the arrows start striking Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. That's when those arrows start striking. And the narrations, they state that when they counted the wounds on Imam Hussain alayhi salam's body, do you know how many wounds there were? Some narrations, they say that there were over 900 wounds when you counted all the wounds. And those wounds only happened to him when he went out the second time. When he went out the first time, there was nothing that was able to touch him. When he went out the second time and the voice told Abu Abdullah Hussain, that's enough, that's when these arrows were able to strike. That's when these arrows were able to strike. So what was Imam Hussain alayhi salam doing? He was giving these individuals an opportunity to understand what they're doing. To know for a fact that, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to do this? And if you look at the sermon that Imam Hussain alayhi salam gives during the battle, what does he say? He says, do you all not know who I am? I am the grandson of Rasulullah. I am the son of Fatima Zahra. You all know who I am, and you all know who Yazid is. Why is it that you've sided with him and you've left me? You all know what kind of a drunkard Yazid is, and you all know what kind of a mu'min I am. So why is it that you have left me and sided with him? The qualities that are required for a leader, they're within me. They were within my brother, they were within my father, they were within my grandfather. So why is it that you've left me? Imam Hussain alayhi salam, one of the lessons that he's teaching us is if you're going to look for a leader, look for those qualities that are supposed to be good in an individual. Look for this. This is why I said in the beginning, just because you see someone wear a turban does not mean that you automatically go and follow him. Just because you see that someone's a doctor, does that mean that you automatically just go and do whatever they tell you? If they say that they're a doctor? Or I should put it another way, if you see someone wearing a coat, would you just go ask for prescriptions for drugs? No, you wouldn't. Right? If you see someone wearing a lab coat, a doctor's coat, would you just go and automatically say, can you give me a prescription for such and such medication? No, you wouldn't. You'd want to know if they're truly a doctor. So when you see someone wear a turban and the libas of an alim, you should also do your research to see whether or not this person truly is an alim. Is this person truly worth following? Why? Because it's the ulama that are going to either make our afterlife or destroy our afterlife. It's the ulama. Because what happens? At the end of the day, what are we doing? Even me, what are we doing at the end of the day? I'm not a mujtahid, so what am I doing? I'm following someone, correct? You all are not mujtahid, so what are you doing? You're following someone, correct? In terms of taqleed. When it comes to taqleed, are you not supposed to do your research and then come to a conclusion that this person is truly to be followed? That's for your marja taqleed. That's for alims. So when it comes to the everyday affairs of leaders, and I know it's happening in Pakistan, but my speech has nothing to do with the elections that are happening in Pakistan. It just happens to be that way. But what is Imam Hussain alayhi salam teaching? To look for these qualities in a leader. And it just happens to be our country, Pakistan, that finds those qualities that are in Yazid and Muawiyah and puts them as our leaders. You see that, that's what's happening. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. From the rising up of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, if you want the moralistic lessons, you'll get it. If you want the philosophical lessons, you'll get it. If you want that Amr bil Ma'ruf that I talked about, you'll get it. If you want that Nahy anil Munkar that I talked about, you'll get it. Whatever it is that you want, you get that from this rising of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. What do I mean? I said that one of the things that had changed from the time of the Holy Prophet to the time of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, or things that had started creeping into Islam, were, for example, the salat. Salat had been changed. Namaz had been changed. When Imam Hussain alayhi salam got to Karbala, and it was time for prayer, Hur is on one side, Imam Hussain is on the other side. When it was time for prayer, what does Imam Hussain alayhi salam say? He tells Hur, Hur, you go pray with your camp, I'll pray with my camp. But what does Hur reply? Hur says, Yabna Rasulullah, we will all pray behind you. We will all pray behind you. Why would Hur and his camp want to pray behind Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam if he's in the wrong? Why would they do that? That tells you that they're praying, or Hur wants to pray behind Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Why? Because he knows that what he's learned, what Imam Hussain alayhi salam's learned, comes directly from Rasulullah. What he's learned comes directly from Rasulullah. Meaning what? Meaning the way that Imam Hussain alayhi salam prays is the same way that Rasulullah prayed. The same way that Rasulullah prayed. Why? Because he's learned it directly from, he's seen Rasulullah pray. He's prayed behind him. He's prayed with him. He sat with him. He stood with him. He's prayed with him. So Hur knows that the prayer of Imam Hussain alayhi salam is the prayer of Rasulullah. That's why he wants to pray behind Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. I said in the beginning that there were changes that came within Islam. Some of those changes, like I talked about, prayer. Others, when it came to Hajj. Others, when it came to giving zakat. It was these changes, little by little, it's these changes that destroyed Islam. And you look at an individual, if a little change comes within an individual, and everyone that this individual knows says to this person, hey, this change that's come within you, it's not good. It's not good. What is it that that individual should do? They should look within themselves and they should say, hey, hold on a second. If all these people are saying that this change has come within me, and they're saying that this change is not good, maybe they're onto something. Maybe I should look at myself and see what's wrong. Let's say they leave that change. Another change comes. Another change comes. Another change comes. When all of these small changes come within that individual, what happens to that person? He's not the same person anymore. He's someone completely different. This is what was happening to Islam. These changes were creeping within Islam to the point where it wasn't even looking like Islam anymore. Islam means what? To submit to? To submit to who? Yes, it means to submit, but submit to who? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But such changes were coming within it, people were not submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were submitting to their own desires. They were submitting to themselves. They were submitting to their wants. They were submitting to their own desires. And because of that, they had left Islam altogether. And this is what Imam Hussain alayhi salam changed. And you see that 1400 years later, the people that sided with Imam Hussain alayhi salam, they see that that's the change which Imam Hussain wanted, and to this day, what are they asking for? They're asking the world to change. They're asking the world to change. The people that sided with Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And you see that when it comes to that wilayah that I said, Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he stood up for the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the wilayat of Imam Hassan, the wilayat of Rasulullah. What does Islam, Imam Muhammad Baqir Islam, he says, Sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam Muhammad Baqir Islam, he says, Bunya al-Islam al-Khamsa. The roots of Islam, or Islam has been founded, Islam has been established, the pillars of Islam are 5. What are they? Al-Salat, was-Zakat, was-Sawm, wal-Hajj, wal-Wilaya. No, we don't have jihad, they have jihad. They have. The roots, the pillars of Islam, Imam Muhammad Baqir Islam, he says that the pillars of Islam are on 5. Al-Salat, Al-Zakat, Al-Sawm, Wal-Hajj, Wal-Wilaya. Imam Sadiq al-Islam, he says that Muslims, that they adhere to 4 and they left the last one. Muslims, they adhere to 4 and they left the last one. When Imam Sadiq al-Islam is saying that they adhere to all 4 of them, so it wasn't for prayer that Imam Hussain al-Islam rose up against. It wasn't for Sawm that Imam Hussain al-Islam rose up against. It wasn't for Zakat that he rose up against. It wasn't for Hajj. It was what Imam Jafar Sadiq al-Islam had said left, that they had left. And it was what? The wilayat of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. That's what Imam Hussain al-Islam rose for. That's what he rose for, that wilayah. And we should be grateful that we have that wilayah within us. We should be grateful that we have that wilayah within us. Because it's that wilayah that makes the prayers that we do accepted. It's that wilayah that makes the hajj that we do accepted. It's that wilayah that makes the sawm, the siyam that we will do in the month of Ramadan, accepted. Every amal that we do, every good deed that we do, it's this wilayah that allows it to be accepted in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without it, everything is completely useless. To the point where Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, look, if a person was fasting, if a person fasted their whole life, they prayed their whole life, they prayed their Salatul Layl every single night, and they were to hold on to the drapes of the Kaaba, and they were to pass away while holding on to the drapes of the Kaaba and crying with fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if they did not have my wilayah, all of that is useless. All of that is useless. They will not benefit one bit from that. So Imam Hussain he rose up for this wilayah. And when he rose up, brothers and sisters, how did he rise? The first thing that happens is that in Medina, the governor of Medina, he calls Imam Hussain alayhi salam. When he calls Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Mawla, he tells his family and he tells his friends that I think Muawiyah has passed away and the governor has called me to pledge allegiance to Yazid. When he says this, he says the same thing to his sister Zainab. And Lady Zainab, she gets scared and she says, oh my brother, please take Banu Hashim with you, just in case that the governor and Marwan, they try to do something. Just in case they try to do something. Abu Abdullah al-Hussain, he says, oh sister, you don't have to worry, because nothing will happen to me here. This isn't where I'm supposed to be shaheed. We still have our journey to go. When he says this, Lady Zainab, she starts to cry and she says, oh brother, if you don't want to take anyone else, then please take Brother Abbas with you. Just take him with you, that's it. That means that from Medina, even before then, before they were leaving, Lady Zainab, she knew what Abbas was capable of. She knew that he was truly the backbone of the Ahlul Bayt at that time. And that's why Imam Hussain, when Abbas, he gets martyred on Muharram, what does he say? Ya Abbas, my back has finally been broken. My back has finally been broken. But when Imam Hussain tells Lady Zainab that I'm going to go see Marwan, Lady Zainab, she says, Mawla, brother dear, please take Abbas with you. Imam Hussain, just to console his sister Zainab, he tells her, oh sister, if you want me to take him, I'll take him. And what does he do? He takes Mawla Abbas. When he takes Mawla Abbas with him, he tells Mawla Abbas, Abbas, I want you to wait outside the door. I want you to wait outside the door. And Mawla Abbas, he looks at him and he says, oh brother, Mawla, what is it that you will tell me for me to come in? How will I know to come in? And Mawla Abbas, he says, when he says this, Mawla Hussain, he says, Ya Abbas, when you hear me raise my voice, that's when I want you to come in. When you hear me raise my voice, that's when I want you to come in. Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulallah. Sallallahu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Sallallahu alayki ya Siddiqatu Fatima. Sallallahu alayka ya Hasan al-Mujtaba. Sallallahu alayka ya Gharib al-Ghuraba. Ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussain. Brothers and sisters, when Abu Abdullah al-Hussain, he goes to see Marwan, Marwan, he talks to Imam Hussain alayhi salam and he tells Hussain, Hussain, you have to pledge allegiance to Yazid. If you don't pledge allegiance to Yazid, we will kill you right here and now. When Marwan says this, what does Imam Hussain alayhi salam say? He yells in a loud voice and he says, oh Marwan, are you the one who's going to try to kill me? And when he says this, Mullah Abbas, he's by the door and he hears Imam Hussain raise his voice. When he raises his voice, he comes in with his sword unseated and he says to Mullah Hussain, oh Mullah, whose head should I knock off first? Tell me whose head I should cut off first. That's when Mullah Hussain, he says, Abbas, we're not here to kill anyone. This is the city of Rasulullah. We're not going to spread any bloodshed here. When Mullah Abbas, he puts away his sword, Mullah Hussain, he goes back home. When he goes back home, he tells the family, oh my family, we need to leave Medina tonight. Why? Because these people, they're going to try to kill me. When he says this to Lady Zainab, she gets the whole family together. They're preparing to leave. When they're preparing to leave, Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam, the first person he goes to see, he goes to the grave of his brother Hassan, and he says to his grave, he sends him his salam, and he says to him, oh my brother Hassan, it's time for me to leave this place. Please accept my last salam. Then he goes to where? He goes to the grave of his grandfather Rasulullah, and he sits on that grave for a while and he starts to cry and he says, oh my grandfather Rasulullah, Medina has become too small for me. These people, they want to kill me. I'm going to leave Medina. Then at the very end, where does Abu Abdullah Hussain go? He goes to the grave of his mother Fatima. He sits on that grave and he starts to cry for a while. And then he says to his mother, oh mother dear, please accept my salam. This is the last time I will be here. And from tonight on, I will take my journey and I will be martyred the way Rasulullah had said that I will be martyred. When he says his last salam to these family members, he comes back to the house. When he comes back to the house, he sees that there's an infant who has attached himself to a daughter of his. And this daughter, Fatima Sughra, she's ill and she will not make this journey. Imam Hussain alayhi salam, when he sees this infant in the lap of this daughter of his, he says to this daughter, oh my daughter, please give this infant. When he says this infant, he doesn't want to leave. He's attached himself to this daughter. Sughra, she says, oh Abu Abdullah Hussain, oh father dear, he doesn't want to leave me. Please, can you take me with you? And that's when he says, oh my daughter, you're ill. You will not be able to make the journey. Please, you have to stay here. When she says this, he leans over and he whispers something into Ali al-Asghar's ears. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what it is. But the narrations say that as soon as he whispers something to Ali al-Asghar's ears, Ali al-Asghar, he's had a smile on his face and he leaves the lap of his sister and he comes into the lap of his father. When they all leave, that's when Abu Abdullah Hussain, he comes out. When he comes out, Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, he comes out with him and he tells the people of Medina, oh people of Medina, cast down your eyes. Why? Because Bint Rasul is coming down. Brothers, sisters, this was Zainab who was being put on this camel by who? By her brother Abbas, by her nephew Ali al-Akbar. But when she left Karbala, there was no one there to help her. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Wal-la'natullah ala qawm al-kafirin. Matama Hussain.
Hussain, Ya 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 Hussain, یا حسین 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 چٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب 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 بھائی کا ہوا دشمن یہ جہاں میری زینب بھائی کا ہوا دشمن یہ جہاں میری زینب چٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب چٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب تنگ ہے زمین مجھ پر ہر طرف سے نرغا ہے تنگ ہے زمین مجھ پر ہر طرف سے نرغا ہے تنگ ہے زمین مجھ پر ہر طرف سے نرغا ہے قریب بھائی پر امتحان میرے زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میرے زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میرے زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب دیکھ رہا ہوں کب تک رنگ یہ زمانے کا دیکھتا رہوں کب تک رنگ یہ زمانے کا دیکھتا رہوں کب تک رنگ ہے زمانے کا اب رہی ہے سانسوں میں اب اذاں میری زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب وعدہ اپنا طفلی کا اب مجھے نبھانا ہے وعدہ اپنا طفلی کا اب مجھے نبھانا ہے وعدہ اپنا طفلی کا اب مجھے نبھانا ہے ہاتھ میں رسن ہوگی پاس با میرے زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آئیوہ میری زینب چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینب بھائی کا سفر تیرے لازمی ہے خواہر بھائی کا سفر تیرے لازمی ہے خواہر بھائی کا سفر تیرے لازمی ہے خواہر علقمہ پہ ٹھہرے گا کارواں میرے زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میرے زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میرے زینا چھٹ رہا نانا کا آستہ میرے زینا دین حق نصرت کو کربلا کے جنگل میں دین حق نصرت کو کربلا کی جنگل میں دین حق نصرت کو کربلا کی جنگل میں خون میں نہائے گا کارواں میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا آستہ میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا واسطہ میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا واسطہ میری زینا بعد میرے اہل دین ظلم تم پہ ڈھائیں گے بعد میرے اہل دین ظلم تم پہ ڈھائیں گے بعد میرے اہل دین ظلم تم پہ ڈھائیں گے بازوئیں رسن باندھے رسیاں میری زینا بازوؤں میں باندھیں گے رسیاں میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینا قید ہو کے جاؤ گی شام اور کوفے میں قید ہو کے جاؤ گی شام اور کوفے میں قید ہو کے جاؤ گی شام اور کوفے میں پہنے ہوگا عابد بھی بیڑیاں میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا آستہ میری زینا بھائی کا ہوا دشمن یہ جہاں میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا آستہ میری زینا چھٹ رہا ہے نانا کا 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 آستہ میری زینا حسین کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. خون ٹپکتا ہوا عباس کا پرچم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. جیسے جیسے میرے غازی کا علم جھکتا گیا, جیسے جیسے میرے غازی کا علم جھکتا گیا, جیسے جیسے میرے غازی کا علم جھکتا گیا, پشت میں حضرت شبیر کے بھی خم آیا. ہو ٹپکتا ہوا عباس کا پرچم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا دیکھ لے اسلام بچانے کے لیے, کربلا دیکھ لے اسلام بچانے کے لیے, کربلا دیکھ لے اسلام بچانے کے لیے. سات کنبے کو لیے وارث آدم آیا. ہو ٹپکتا ہوا عباس کا پرچم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. ظالموں اس کو تو دو بوند پلا دو پانی. ظالموں اس کو تو دو بوند پلا دو پانی. ظالموں اس کو تو دو بوند پلا دو پانی. اب لبوں پر میرے بے شیر کا ہے دم آیا. ہو ٹپکتا ہوا عباس کا پرچم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. سارے موسم تو گزر جاتے ہیں آ کر, لیکن سارے موسم تو گزر جاتے ہیں آ کر, لیکن سارے موسم تو گزر جاتے ہیں آ کر, لیکن بس ہمیشہ کے لیے موسم ماتم آیا. ہو ٹپکتا ہوا عباس کا پرچم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. کربلا والوں پہ یہ کیسا محرم آیا. یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین.
السلام علیکہ یا نبی اللہ, السلام علیکہ یا رسول اللہ, السلام علیکہ یا خاتم النبیین, السلام عليك الذي دنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى. السلام عليك يا حبيبنا وحبيب الله ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي أمير المؤمنين وسي رسول رب العالمين. السلام عليك يا آية الله الكبرى ونبع العظيم. السلام عليك يا حجة الله في العالمين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. السلام عليك يا معدن الرسالة. السلام عليك يا صديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا حجة الله في العالمين. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم وصفة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن سيد فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا سار الله وابن ساره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وأعطيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكرات الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الإسلام الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة. لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مظلمات ثيابها. أشهد أنك من دائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. أشهد أنك إمام البر التقي الرزي الزكي الهادي المهدي. أشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى وحجة على أهل الدنيا. أشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياء ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبي بكم موقن بشرع ديني وخواتيم أمري قلبي لقلبكم سلما أمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم على إسعادكم وعلى خائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا مغيث الشيد والزوارف في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك يا أنيس النفوس. السلام عليك أيها المدفون بأرض توس وأبنائك الأربعة وآبائك السبعة ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان يا قامي الكفر والطغيان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وأجن الله من أنصارك وأعوانك ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السعد وفي كل سعد الإمام وحافظا وعينا حتى تسكنه وارزقا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل